Have you ever wondered what you would give to change a single moment in your past? One choice, one word left unsaid, one step taken in fear instead of courage. Helena had asked herself these questions countless times. She was a teacher, a dreamer, and to most people, an ordinary woman. But inside, she carried regrets like stones in her pockets, dragging her down day after day. Every night she replayed her life like a broken record. The love she let slip away, the job she turned down, the words she never spoke to her parents before it was too late. It was on a stormy night, in the silence of the school library, that she found it. A box tucked away in a forgotten corner covered in dust. Inside, an ancient wooden hourglass. The wood was cracked, the glass delicate, but the sand shimmered as if it was alive. On its base, an inscription carved in Latin, Tempus te audit. Time listens to you. Her hands trembled. She turned the hourglass. The sand began to fall, and with it the world around her shattered into light. When Helena opened her eyes, she was no longer in the library. The streets outside were brighter, cleaner, familiar in a way that made her chest ache. The year was 2013, 10 years earlier. She was standing across from the cafe where her parents used to take her every Sunday, and there they were, alive, smiling, waiting for her. She froze, tears burning her eyes. She had dreamed of this moment, begged for it in silence. Now it was real. She ran to them. Their arms wrapped around her, warm and strong, and for the first time in years, Helena felt whole. But in the back of her mind, a voice whispered, "If you change one thing, what disappears in return?" The hourglass ticked inside her pocket, heavier than before. Days passed. Helena explored her second chance. She went to places she had avoided. She confessed feelings to her first love, Daniel, the boy she had been too afraid to embrace. She laughed, she cried, she lived differently. Each time she dared to change the script, she felt a shift, subtle but dangerous. A memory in her head would blur. A photograph in her wallet would vanish. A student she once taught in the future no longer existed in her mind. The hourglass wasn't giving her freedom. It was demanding payment. One night, Helena stood in her childhood bedroom staring at the glow of the hourglass. "Why me?" she whispered. The sand shifted as if answering, and then she realized this relic wasn't random. It was a mirror, showing her the weight of choices, testing whether she could carry them. The next turn of the hourglass flung her further back to her teenage years. She saw her younger self studying alone, refusing to go to the party where she could have met lifelong friends. She tried to intervene, to push her younger self toward courage. But when she returned to the present, her timeline cracked again. A beloved friend she knew in adulthood had vanished, replaced by strangers and photographs. Helena's chest grew heavier. Regret battled temptation. Every grain of sand in the hourglass whispered, "Try again, fix it, save them." She tried one last time. Back to the day she lost her parents in a car accident. She saw them standing by the door, ready to leave. She could have begged them to stay. She could have saved their lives. She almost shouted, but then she felt it. The library around her shook. Books fell from invisible shelves. The air screamed. She knew. If she changed this, the chain reaction could destroy everything. Tears streamed down her face. She whispered goodbye instead. And in that moment, she understood. The hourglass was never about erasing pain. It was about facing it. It gave her glimpses, temptations, to show her that every scar, every failure, every loss was part of the story that made her who she was. When she returned to the library, her hands still clutched the relic. But now the sand was gone, the glass empty. On its base, the inscription had changed. It no longer said, "Time listens to you." It said, "Remember." Helena fell to her knees, sobbing, but not in despair. For the first time, she felt peace, because she realized that the true power was never in changing the past. It was in embracing it and daring to live the present without fear. And so I ask you, if time were listening to you right now, what would you tell it? Would you beg for another chance? Or would you finally take the one you already have today?